All right, here's our first tough question. This is from Joe. Who's more important between Deebo and Aiyuk? So I think that Aiyuk is a better pure receiver. If I was making the decision, who am I going to keep long term today? I probably would choose Aiyuk based mainly on the way the two players play, because Deebo Samuel plays so physical. I just think he's going to continue to get injured more often, especially as he gets older. But at the same time, you can't ignore the fact that when the 49ers, when Deebo Samuel's not in the game, not on the field, the 49ers offense struggled when I think Deebo missed, 3 games last season, and they struggled to score in those games for the most part. So I don't know. What do you think? I probably would go Aiyuk long term, but I also realize that may be the wrong decision.
It's tough because this isn't an apple-to-apples comparison. Deebo Samuel and Brandon Aiyuk are completely different players in how they're used within the offense. And I think a first argument against Deebo Samuel would be now Kyle Shanahan has Christian McCaffrey and he can do the things that Deebo Samuel does. But let's not forget that in 2019, Kyle Shanahan wanted to have 2 of those guys. He wanted to have Deebo and he wanted to have Jalen Hurd. So it's something that he's definitely looked at. I think when it comes to Aiyuk, the bigger question is, can you find another wide receiver that does the things that he does? And I think when you look around the league, you start seeing guys that are in that top 15 wide receiver range that have just been drafted over the last 5 years that, yeah, those guys can do the things that Aiyuk does for the most part. Now, find another player that does the things Deebo does to the level that Deebo does them. I don't know if there's that guy. I know McCaffrey is probably the closest, but the explosiveness that Deebo has, the ability to make a home run play is different than every other player on the 49ers, maybe besides George Kittle. George Kittle house calls plays, and Deebo does that. Aiyuk has those moments, but for the most part, he's not the explosive touchdown guy. He has explosive plays. So it's an interesting conversation. I think they're 2 different guys who really benefit from playing together. But as far as longevity, Aiyuk is obviously going to be in the league longer. He hasn't really had any injuries in his career. But I think Deebo's new role has definitely changed, and maybe that'll make it easier for him to stay healthy. But Deebo's just got that explosiveness. He's different. He's a game changer compared to a lot of players in this league, and that's why when he got $23 million, he got it from being a really good football player and a playmaker, not for being a wide receiver.